You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 398 for Sunday the 27th of February.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jane.
Hello there, Michelle, and how are we doing? We're both on holiday this week, aren't we?
We are, although it's already Wednesday and I've blinked.
I know. The trouble is we have 1 week off, don't we, for what we call our February half term. And no sooner than you've got into the swing of things, you're back at work again.
Yeah, but I did have a really enjoyable weekend with the cadets this weekend. I was teaching Youth First Aid, so there are 9 youngsters out there ready, able and willing to save lives if the need arose. So I feel really warm and fuzzy inside, and I also felt warm and fuzzy inside at the weekend because I was inside and a lot of my friends were up on the range doing shooting, on outside doing navigation, and we had snow and we had rain and we had cold.
I'm going to say we had 3 storms hit us in succession, didn't we, for the UK, which is, we're not used to that, are we? We do kind of lose our mind a little bit when we get a bit of bad weather.
I know, I must admit, when I was driving back on the Sunday, I at one point thought, oh my word, I'm going to have to turn my car into a boat, because at the bottom of the village there is a sort of like dip in the road, and literally you could swim across it.
Wow.
But there is a sort of shortcut through what we call the salt pit, and basically this is where they were able to open up some gates and sort of we off-roaded to avoid the flood so I could get home, otherwise I would be recording this from my car.
Wowzers. Yes, it did kind of batter us a little bit.
Well, the first thing I want to sort of tackle you with, and I'm tackling you because we all know I've got my trips booked.
Yes.
Things are improving over here in the UK. Literally, COVID-smovid, you don't have to do anything basically now. Apart from, obviously, certain places are still going to request you wear a mask, and certain places are not going to let you visit your nearest and dearest when in hospital. Has this made you change your mind or start being tempted to book a trip over there to Walt Disney World?
I am starting to feel more positive about things. I think probably would be the best way to describe it. It's all going the right way. I think I'm still a little bit tentative. I'm still on the mind that I want to be confident that when something is booked, it is actually going to happen. I'm going to be in a fortunate position going forward in that I'm having a change of job direction, shall we say.
Whoop whoop.
I'm no longer going to be tied, once we get past the end of our academic year, to the constraints of going away during term time breaks. That does mean that my approach to going to Disney is going to change a little bit, and I'm going to be able to take advantage of perhaps lower seasons, perhaps different festivals, events that are on, things that I've perhaps only ever wanted to, or dreamt about doing, but I'm going to be in a position where we could actually do now. That does mean that I'm in a position where I'm not necessarily thinking, I need to be booking, 6-8 months in advance. I could perhaps be a little bit more impetuous with my booking, should we say. So at the point when things become looking what I would consider to be more normal, so we haven't got these restrictions in place, we've got things more or less back to how we would expect a vacation in Disney World to be, more entertainment, the meets and greets up close and personal, and those type of things happening.
And I'm sensing Food and Wine Festival, September, when all the kids have gone back to school and the weather's a little bit better, as a big possible for you.
It could well be, Michelle. I mean, it's one of those festivals that I think I've been, because obviously it's got earlier and earlier as the years have gone by. I think I've been there and I've seen the booths starting to go up, but I've never been there for when it's been actually up and running. So that would be a possibility. I did mute at Christmas the other day in a conversation that I had with my darling other half. I think purely because I love Christmas. You know what I'm like. Yeah. I'm a big softie for Christmas. So for me, you put Christmas and Disney together and I'm kind of like in seventh heaven. my birthday's in December, it kind of all just ticks all the boxes for the right reasons to go.
We had a bit of a grumble earlier in the week when we found out the citrus swirl had swirled away.
Yes, I'm not a happy bunny. You know what, Michelle? I did think whenever we get these things about something being removed, and I'm normally quite philosophical, I'm quite on the the side of, well, change is sometimes good and we have to embrace change and we have to enjoy what we had and then we have to move forward. I'm not quite feeling it like that this time around because I like my citrus swirl and I don't know why they've got rid of it. And I heard on somewhere possibly said that cast members had turned around and said it wouldn't be available for 2 years. I'm not quite sure how they know that.
Well, let's just say noodles went bye-byes, noodles came back very quickly. So let's just wait and see on that one. But it is really weird when you see the new flower and garden things being advertised with the orange bird, and we all link classically the orange bird to the citrus swirl.
Citrus swirl, absolutely. I mean, if memory serves me right, they tried to take the citrus swirl off the menu a while ago, and because of, fan protestations, it did reappear. And I know that they've been doing a lot of different versions of swirls and Dole Whips and goodness knows what else. And I think I heard somewhere, is it a case of they haven't got enough different machines in such a small space where the Sunshine Tree Terrace is to actually be able to manufacture all the different ones that they want to sell? I don't know whether that's correct or not. But it just seems a shame to remove something that's very iconic. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I'm not happy about it.
Okay. I got a couple of pieces of history.
Oh, okay.
We have a birthday and a passing day.
Oh, who we got?
Let's just celebrate the contributions of both of these amazing Disney legends. So, first one, born on this day, February 27th, 1930, in Alhambra, California, was Roland Fargo Crump, a.k.a. Rolly Crump.
Oh.
1952, he took a pay cut from his job in a ceramic factory to join the Walt Disney Studios, and 7 years later he joined show design department at WED Enterprises, which is now Disney Imagineering. And he became one of Walt's key designers on Disneyland's groundbreaking new attractions and shops, including the Haunted Mansion, Enchanted Tiki Room, Adventureland Bazaar. He was a key designer on the attractions for the 1964-1965 World's Fair, including It's a Small World. And those of you who have seen this amazing Tower of the Four Winds marquee, he created that.
Oh, okay.
Contributed towards the initial design of the Magic Kingdom over in Walt Disney World, and continued working on all sorts of projects over there, contributing towards the Epcot Centre, serving as a project designer for something that we hold very dear to our hearts, the Land and the Wonders of Life Pavilion.
Oh.
In 1992, he returned to Imagineering as an executive designer, and he was involved with the redesign and refurbishing of the Land and interventions at Epcot Centre. He retired from the company in 1996, but continued to work on a number of creative projects. Absolutely amazing.
Such a breadth of input into what we know today, really, isn't it? I mean, I've got a book all about him. It's a fascinating read. So, yeah, he's a name that I think everybody probably knows and associates with Disney anyway. But, yeah, massive impact.
So happy birthday, and here's to many, many more in the future for you. Now, from one end to the other, and another Disney Imagineer, a Disney legend, born on the 18th of May, 1910, Dorothea Redmond. She was known for her skills as a painter and illustrator, sadly passing away at the age of 98 on the 27th of February 2009 in her home in the Hollywood Hills.
That's a life and a half, isn't it? 98.
Yeah, and we've done a show before where we really focused on her career and her links also with the Alfred Hitchcock films.
Of course, yes.
But one of the things that I love her for is the mosaic in Cinderella Castle.
Yes, of course, beautiful.
That these 5 mosaic murals that line the corridor as you walk through the castle were designed by her, and they basically tell a shortened version of the classic Cinderella story. And they were brought to life by Hans Johann Schaaf, and he took her designs, enlarged them to full scale, measuring 15 feet high, 10 feet wide, and literally, with the help of his wife and daughter, shaped over 1 million pieces of glass, bits of gold, silver, jewels, and doing jewels with the bunny ears because they're not exactly rubies, diamonds, and helped out by the 7 dwarfs or anything. Over 500 colours were utilised in these beautiful, beautiful, stunning murals. There was a team of 6 craftsmen pressing them into the wet cement, and it's one of the very few places in the whole of the Disney parks where the key craftspeople on the project were able to sign their name on it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
They have their names in autograph style out on them, and I just love going through them, and there's so many little nods that particular characters actually look like key Imagineers. And again, we've talked about this on the show we did about Dorothea many years back, but the number of people that just walk past and don't stop and look and take in the craftsmanship and the hours of painstaking work that must have gone into them, it's just unreal.
Yeah, it is one of those things. I think it can get so busy through there, can't it, that you're a little bit sidetracked. You've got your little mission in your head about where you're going, and actually, as we've said with a lot of areas of any of the Disney parks, you need to just stop sometimes and just appreciate the level of detail and the work that has gone into making these parks the places that we love. And this is a prime example of, and I will admit that I've probably not given it as much care and attention as probably it deserves. So add it onto my bucket list. Let's take it in a bit more detail next time I'm there.
It does take forever to stand and wait.
Yeah.
For people to get out of the way to take a picture. But it is well worth the wait.
Yeah.
So that is a couple of bits of Disney news.
Mm-hmm.
Shop news, Jane.
Yes, shopping.
We all love a bit of Disney.
Yeah.
And it was announced this week that Disney are selling some scented candles.
Are they now?
Now, I couldn't find them on the USA website, but I believe that they are in the UK store. There is a Winnie Pooh honey jar, which I believe smells of honey. There is a poison apple, which I believe smells of apple. Mm-hmm. There is a pineapple candle with Lilo and Stitch. And all those 3 are reduced at the moment.
Okay.
Not to pennies, but they're getting more towards it. There's also a Marie in a little pot, but there's also a little decorative pumpkin sort of carriage from Cinderella.
Okay.
Very super sweet. But also, while I was looking on the UK store, I got a little bit mad. You know my favourite cookie jar?
Yeah.
They've reduced it to half price.
Wow.
So if you want an absolute bargain and you're in the UK and you've £25, pop on over to the Disney store.
Nice to see that we're getting some bits and pieces at a decent price for a change. And I know with some of the current releases, it seems to be that we're quite fortunate in having them and US stores aren't. So
yeah.
Yay, us for a change.
I know. And talking of candles, the big name that is in the whole candle authorised world is Scentsy. Over in the UK, you are able now to get the carriage warmer from Cinderella, which is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, with the beautiful wheels, but ouch, £115.
Yeah, I won't bother in them.
Yeah, I do imagine that in the USA that this is available and it's a lot cheaper.
Isn't that always the way? But yes.
It's still a very high-end product.
It is, yes, but with a very high-end price.
Yeah. Something else I saw in the news, you are able now to utilise the Disney My Experience app when in the park and you've had good customer service. You can type in the cast member's name, their location and approximate time, and leave a compliment.
Yeah, this is an improvement, isn't it? Because I think previously you couldn't actually give any details to the actual name of the cast member. So this is much better that you can actually recognise somebody individually.
The only downside is if a cast member turns up at work and they've lost their ID badge, they could have borrowed it from somebody else. So just if you want to leave someone a compliment, just double check that it is actually their name, because you could be complimenting their line manager instead.
Yes, I must admit I have talked to a few cast members over time and been made aware of badge swaps going on occasionally. So yeah, be careful.
Yeah. That's all I've really got for this week on my list, Jane. I gather you've got some foodie news.
Well, it would be rude not to, wouldn't it? I think as we are approaching the beginning of the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival, that starts on the 2nd of March through to July the 4th, it would be rude not to have a little cursory glance over the outdoor kitchens that will be there for your delectation and pleasure.
And this is actually a festival I've actually been to.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, because at least it runs over a number of months as well, so that you can actually potentially get out there from those of us that have restricted times when we can get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of things that have been there before,
Favourites.
Favourites, yes, things that we've seen before and have enjoyed. But likewise, there are a few newbies appearing on there as well. They're also doing the garden graze, which is a little bit like the cookie stroll. So you have your little passport and there's 5 kitchens that you need to go to and buy certain menu items, and then you get a stamp for each one, and then you can go to the Pineapple Promenade to receive your exclusive festival treat. Looking back at previous years, it seems to have been a variation of a Dole Whip, but you do get it served in a commemorative, obviously take-home glassware tumbler type thing.
Not to be put in the dishwasher.
No, because I bet the transfer that's on it would disappear rather quickly.
Yeah. I've bought you a drink, Jane.
Yeah?
Joffrey's Coffee Cold Brew Cocktail with milk, rum, coffee liqueur and vanilla vodka.
Ooh.
Doesn't that sound the perfect thing on a warm day wandering round Epcot? Seriously, let's just forget about all the food. Let's just have that in one of those camel packs, those water packs that you carry on your back. Just put me another one in, mate. It'll hold about 3, and just walking around and just sipping from that, oblivious to the crowds or the noise or children crying over spilt popcorn. You're just having an intravenous drip of rummy, coffee-y, vodka-y goodness.
That's one way to get around Epcot, Michelle.
That or on roller skates, which they won't let us, or even, in fact, segways. I remember when you could segway.
Oh, crikey, yes.
But I imagine segway and that cocktail would be a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it's probably not a good combination.
Or just me on a segway, because I was like Captain Chaos. Beep, beep.
Yeah.
It's one way of getting to the front of the line if you want in a limited edition popcorn bucket, isn't it?
Well, we're not going to talk about a limited edition popcorn bucket, so are we?
Although there is going to be the Honey Bee Sipper.
Well, there's a couple of sippers, isn't there? Because you've also got the orange bird as well. But yeah, the honeybee does look quite cute.
The honeybee looks cute. The orange bird looks super sweet with the orange, and it just makes me laugh that we can't get a citrus smell.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, should we just move on quickly from that then?
Yeah.
If we can't get what we want.
I will say, scrolling through all the pictures, the food looks so beautiful with these edible flowers to fit in with the theme, the freshness of the vegetables that they're using and the fruits. They've done everything they possibly can to make this look absolutely delicious. But Jane,
yeah,
chocolate cake.
There's a couple of chocolate cakes that I've seen on this list, Michelle.
Whipped cassis mousse, raspberry gelato, fresh raspberries.
It looks divine, doesn't it?
A few sprigs of mint, because raspberry and mint, and then the chocolate, and again, surprisingly, they've made this chocolate cake plant-based, so it's going to be suitable for so many people. Oh, it looks delightful. So fresh, so zingy.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing to say. Look at a lot of these pictures. They are beautifully taken photographs, don't get me wrong, and they do look very, very tempting. I hope the final product that you get when you're actually in the parks matches up to these photos. And obviously they've got a hard act to follow, having gone through Festival of Arts and the way they present their food offerings throughout that festival. So I suppose they've got something to live up to, haven't they? There is another chocolate cake that I do quite like the look of. This would be the favourite over at Cider House in the UK, purely because, again, it's that classic combination. It's a dark chocolate raspberry tart with whipped cream, and it's very simply presented, and it's got like a sliver of looks like white chocolate on top of it with a raspberry. Yeah, it's my kind of dessert. Dark chocolate and raspberries, yes, please.
Can I just say something here and now about the Cider House in the United Kingdom?
Yeah.
I'm going to kick off here.
Oh, here we go. What have I opened up now?
How dare they make a scone with bacon, lettuce and tomato? How dare they?
I had to... Well, it's a new item, Michelle, so let's give them credit for a new item. And I had to read it, and I thought, oh, BLT scone. I thought, they can't mean scone as we mean scone. And then I looked at the picture and thought, oh, they do, but I can't quite figure it out.
It's applewood smoked bacon, sun-dried
Nice.
tomato and basil.
Mm.
So basil must be in place of lettuce.
The lettuce, I would
so
imagine,
it's actually BBT.
Yeah.
But it's got little chunks of granulated sugar on top of the scone. So... yeah, if you're going to do a scone, it's fruit. I'll push you towards maybe walnuts, pecan, maybe...
date and walnut, yeah, that's my favourite.
Even blueberry, which is an Americanisation of our beloved fruit, scone. I'll accept. I'll even go as far as saying keep it, plain or buttermilk. But bacon in a scone, I think that, no.
Well, I mean, I had cheesy scones before. I quite like, a cheesy-based one. But, yeah, it is that sort... The image is a little bit disconcerting, I think, shall we say. So we need someone to go and try it for us, Michelle.
Absolutely. Although, with all the different types of cider that they've got on offer, it's... these typical, I love the wording, hard cider. So this cider is literally wearing its white vest, its red braces, its tight denim big jeans with like a little bit of metal going round the belt, and the big muscular, the tattooed, your stereotypical hard boy. And then they're going to have a pink lemonade hard cider.
Yeah. I don't know why they put the word hard in, Michelle, do you?
I think it's just to make it very clear that it's not apple juice, that it is alcoholic.
This is the translation between two languages issue, isn't it?
Yeah, two countries, same language, completely different meanings.
Completely divided apart, yeah.
Yeah, and let's not go down that route when I was trying to explain to somebody that I was making pasties in the oven.
Yes, we've been there. We'll move on.
Yes, but it does look quite interesting that they have a snake bite, and on their version, it's a triple jam, hard cider, and pure brewed organic lager. Yeah,
that's a bit of a concoction of words there, isn't it?
It is. Just give me the classic. Give me the classic. But yeah, lots of lovely things here, Jane. I'm really glad you brought this up because there's so many things that I'd really like to eat. Unfortunately, I won't get the opportunity.
No, but yeah, definitely recommend going over to the Disney Parks blog, and you'll find all these pictures over there. We'll probably share a few on our site as well. But some definite, very tempting offerings to be had over the next 3 months, isn't it?
3 months of festivals, and then big drum roll. Food and wine.
I'm going to say we'll probably have a couple of weeks off, will we? I don't know. When does Food and Wine start? Oh, we should be even talking about that. We haven't even got this one out of the way first.
I know, but I'm going to be getting to go to Food and Wine. I'm
True.
so excited about it. And I just can't hide it. I'm just really giddy because I get to go, and hopefully by then they'll have got it all down pat with your sippy cups and your popcorn buckets that you can order online. I won't have to queue up for 6.5 months or anything like that.
Yeah, mobile ordering. Yeah. Nice to see that, let's say, as we've always said, Michelle, there's plenty of different things happening within Disney World, within the Disney parks at different times of the year. So hopefully when you do get a chance to go, there could be something happening just to make it that little bit extra special.
And let's not even forget that it's sounding like parades are coming back. Disneylanders, oh my word, how giddy are they?
Yeah, Main Street Electrical, 50th anniversary. Extra bits and bobs going on to it by the looks of it.
Well, they've obviously had to stick it back together with sticky back plastic after they said it was glowing away.
Yeah, quick, get that gaffer tape out.
Yeah, what can we do to weld all these bits back together again? Because how many times is this going to be resurrected? Seriously?
Well, yeah, and, when are we going to get something in Disney World? Hint, hint.
Yeah, I must admit I have got everything crossed that there's going to be an announcement that Disney World is going to have some kind of amazing, spectacular parade. Paint the night, paint the night, paint the night. Because that's not been mentioned where it's going yet.
It hasn't, and we've said numerous times before that it seemed to be the logical place to put it, and it would seem that with it being Disney World's 50th, and we're already, 6 months into the 18-month-long celebration, you'd like to think that it would be another thing that they would want to bring in to enhance their celebrations even further.
We can live in hope, my darling.
Fingers crossed, toes crossed, and everything else crossed.
Yeah, but it is good to see that people that are able to go to the parks a lot more often than us are getting different offerings every time they go, lots of things to see and do and whatever. So that's brilliant. I do want to end the show with a bit of a plea from one of our listeners.
Ooh.
I always like to put something out there that people, can help out with. This is from our good friend Lucy Burgess. She's looking for recommendations. Her husband and herself had planned to go to Victoria and Albert's to celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary in 2020, but the trip was cancelled. We're going again late May, early June, and would like to go and eat a really special meal to celebrate our 12th. Now, if the rumours are right, you might be able to get into Victoria and Albert's, but where else could anybody recommend for them to go and eat? And they would kind of prefer off-property because they've done like the likes of California Grill and things like that. They want to do something different.
Oh, okay.
So lots of our listeners on the podcast family page came up with some ideas, perhaps going to Disney Springs, looking at the Topolino dinner, maybe as one that you might want to consider. It looks amazing. I was watching something about there the other day. I've had people suggesting other places, but our friend Kat and Lewis have to go OTT. They said, no, let's not bother going, have your Walt Disney World trip, then go on the Disney Fantasy and have a romantic meal in Remy.
That's just pushing the budget a little bit, isn't it?
It is. It's pushing it a little bit out there. But I did come up with a really good suggestion that they might want to go with. A lot of my friends have been talking about the Waldorf Astoria and a restaurant called Bull and Bear.
Okay.
And they have a lounge menu, but they also have a dinner menu. And every person I've spoken to about this says, oh my word, the food is amazing.
So why limit yourselves to the classic staying in a Disney hotel or using Disney Springs? There's other options out there.
Absolutely. And just for you, Jane, I have found the perfect meal for you and Symes, as you are both massive carnivores.
Yeah.
A tomahawk steak for two. A 38-ounce Allen Brothers primed 32-day aged steak.
You mean I've got to share it?
It's 38-ounce, love. I'm serious, you could probably kill the other half with this because it's that huge. It is $170.
Ouch.
But you'd be having steak sandwiches for a couple of days afterwards.
I'm going to say, as long as we can take it home in a bit of Tupperware, we'll be all right, wouldn't we?
Yeah, it'd be right. So it'd be really interesting if anyone's got any suggestions to give Lucy on other places in the Orlando area that she could go and try out. That's a little bit special. I did suggest the boathouse because I do love the boathouse. It's got a lovely little cocktail area down by the waterside. If you time it right, you could maybe go for one of their ampy car rides with some champagne and strawberries, or a boat ride or something. And then maybe have a stroll around Disney Springs, calling in different places for cocktails.
Yeah, lots of different options.
There are, but it'd be lovely to see what we can come up with to make sure that this amazing couple have a fantastic time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, lovelies, I think we'll wrap up this week's show here and now. Thank you so much for listening in to this week's Disney Dream Girls. If you want to catch more of our pictures and content, we are on Twitter and Instagram at DisDreamGirls. If you want an additional podcast here and there, it's over at patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls. Big love to everybody who does support us, means a great deal, and we do try to give quite a lot back to our supporters, so thank you. We will be back, hopefully, all crossed, next week with another fun-filled show, but until then, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.